Hey guys, it's Jackson from Titanic Games, and today I'm going to be showing you how to import your own models from both Blender and Maya. So if you have either of those 3D software programs, then this is the tutorial for you. But it should apply for pretty much every other kind of modeling software out there. So with that said, let's get right to it. So I'm actually going to go out of Unreal Engine for right now, and I'm going to open up Blender. Now, I already have kind of just the basic cube that's in here when Blender opens, so I'm going to use that for our tutorial. But again, you can use whatever models you want. It applies to everything. So all we're going to do is simply click on our model, right? We're going to go to File, going to go to Export, Fbx, right? And then we can choose where we want to save it. So I'm going to save mine, on my desktop, so it's easy for me to find. And I'm going to call it Blender Model. Yeah, that'll be good. Blender Model, and then simply hit Export. And now that should have exported it. So if I go look on my desktop, you can see there it is, Blender Model. It's on my desktop. So now I'll show you how to import it really quick. You go into Unreal Engine. Now in your content browser, you right click, go to Import to Game, and then find where you stored it. So I stored mine on the desktop, and then select it, click Open, and now you're going to be presented with some Fbx Import options, right? If you have any kind of materials or textures on it, you can include those, and they'll be imported as well. If you want to change the transform of your object, right? So change its location, its rotation, or its scale, you can definitely do that from here. There's a couple other options here, whatever. Some advanced options you can find those by just clicking these little drop downs and everything. And the only other thing that's kind of important is the import as skeletal, right? So if your object has a skeleton to it, so say you have like a character or something, then you're going to want to make sure you select that, right? And then it'll open up some more options. And then, if you have animations for it, then you'll want to import animations. One thing to note is that initially, I believe Unreal Engine only imports one animation with your skeleton. So you'll usually just want to import the skeleton on its own and then import any animations you have after that. So, and then if you're creating a new skeleton, just leave that to none, and it'll create the skeleton for you in Unreal. Right now you can see you have the mannequin skeleton, and that's for the default guy in Unreal. But our mesh is a simple box, so it doesn't have a skeleton. So we're just going to leave it like that. Uncheck it, and hit import. So you might get some warnings, saying this is a pretty common one. No smoothing group was found. These are kind of more things that happen when you export your objects, or just in how you made them. Usually I find that they're not a problem, but if they are, you might need to look more into it. But really, if I go back to the content browser and just drag it and drop it in, then you can see here it is, and there's no problems with it. It's it's a nice big cube, and really that's all there is to it from the Blender side. So next I'm going to show you how to do the same thing except from Maya. So it's equally as easy. Let's get out of Unreal and go find Maya. And again, you can see I have a basic cube in here, and simply what you're going to do is you're going to go to with it selected, you go to File, and now you can choose to export all, and that'll export everything in the scene, or you can do export selection, right? And that will only export what you have selected. In this case it doesn't really matter because I only have the one cube. But say you were making something that has multiple pieces to it and you want to have each of those pieces separate, then you'd probably want to do the export selection. And then right here is a bunch of different, if you click these little squares, it'll show you a bunch of different options and everything. But we're not going to do that. We're just going to simply go to File, Export All, and now saving it as an FBX, right? And I'm going to call this Maya Model. And now Maya actually has some export options right here for you. So you can add the smoothing groups here, the tangents and binormals, smooth the mesh, and a bunch of other stuff. If you have like an animation, you can include the animation, and then you got to make sure that you bake it. But we don't have an animation, so I'm going to uncheck that. And a whole bunch of other stuff that you can do as well. But again, I'm just going to keep it really basic and just export it as is. So click export all. And then, oh, I forgot where I saved it, but we'll probably have to find it. So anywho, we can go back into Unreal. If we right click and do the same thing, import to game. And I'm going to go find where I stored that. Give me a sec. I might have stored it in my Maya projects. There it is. Okay, so click that, open it up, and again, the same options box is going to show up, and you can just click import, and it'll load it in, and drag that in, and there it is. So as you can see, it's pretty easy to import your own models into Unreal. So I hope you found this tutorial helpful, and if you want to see more, like, subscribe, and continue watching, or really whatever. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.